This is indeed one of the most profound topics that I have approached under trance and then when I wrote Being Pyotr Ilyich. I think that it's easy to understand this topic if we do create a comparison with our terrestrial life and especially with the relationship between parents and children. Because when you have a child, you learn him certain laws, certain principles, and you try to explain him or her some important values in life. For example, as I have already mentioned in other episodes of our podcast, when you have a child, you learn him not to approach fire or not to use the oven or the stove because he or she might hurt himself or herself. But later, when he or she becomes a teenager, you learn him or her to use the same instrument, which is the oven or the stove, in order to prepare food or to boil water and so on. Because now you consider that the teenager has reached a certain level of development and of understanding, and that he might use or she might use that instrument without hurting himself or other people. Or to take another example, we generally learn our children to be honest and not to lie. But later in life, we might suggest them to use lies. For example, when we don't want to hurt or to scare other people. For example, when the teenager is ill, we might tell him or her, do not tell to your grandparents, because they might get scared and they are old and it's better for them not to know the truth right now. So there are moments in life when we apparently contradict ourselves. But this is because the being has reached a certain age, so a certain level of development, intellectual and emotional development, and he or she might use his or her discernment in order to know what's good and what's not good, let's say. So I think that from what I understood, our Father, the Divine, does the same with us. He explained us certain laws. For example, do not kill, do not steal, etc. When we were little, let's say, when we were less developed. Now, he does not contradict these rules, let's say, but he adds more nuances, and I think what's very important in this situation is the perspective that he has from the higher dimensions, which is the same perspective that our higher self has. Because in the end, our planet, and of course other realms and our other planets, of lower vibration here in the physical material world, are, as a matter of fact, an illusion to some extent. There are some sets where we play certain roles, and as it was written from the Renaissance on, this life is to some extent a dream. It's only a context created by the Divine for us in order to learn, in order to experience different kinds of situations. So we come here in order to play to some extent one with the others, because up in the upper realms, in heavens, we can't kill each other because we are eternal and death does not exist in itself. We come here in order to learn how death is felt and what absence means and what does it mean to kill or to be killed. So from our Father's perspective, what it really matters is our evolution. The way that the fact that we should pass through a rich array of experiences, a broad range of situations in order to evolve, in order to learn how it is to be killed, how it is to kill someone, how it is how does it feel to feel guilty, how does it feel to feel frustrated, and so on. So from his point of view, what really matters is our learning, our evolution. This is why, as a matter of fact, he doesn't judge ourselves, because this is an illusion. And to some extent, to judge ourselves from the point of view that God has is like waiting for an actor when the performance has finished, and asking him to go in court because he is guilty that he killed someone. And the actor would be, of course, stunned, and he would say, but I didn't really kill anyone. It was just a play, and I was interpreting a role. So I think that this is quite similar to what really happens here on Earth. So all in all, coming back to your question, I think that fortunately the mankind, or at least part of the mankind, has now reached a level of understanding and of wisdom and of development in which our Father can explain us more than he could explain us thousands of years ago. So this is why now he adds a lot of important nuances to his teachings towards us. And this is why now we discover so many worlds, so many realms, so many dimensions, because we are ready to understand what life and what world really is.